This video is going to be about some things to keep in mind when you're using a bench plane and you're planing. I've gone over adjusting the planes and using the bench dogs and the bench hooks in some other videos, but this is just some kind of reminders of things that I see people doing that you need to be aware of, and so hopefully it'll help you plane better and also uh, keep the planes sharper and not damage the blades. And so two things I wanted to talk about are when you're kind of a general rule is when you're planing anything, the work that you're planing needs to be above the way you're holding or the means you're using to hold the work. And I already talked a little bit about this in some previous videos on the bench dog and the bench planes. But so just to kind of repeat that is you can't have your bench dog above the work like that, or you can't have the bench the vice dog, the dog on the vice up above your work. If you do that, the plane's going to hit those, and it's going to it makes it's if not impossible to plane everything. It also will damage the blade if you're not careful. The other thing is that if you're holding a block of wood in the vise, I'm going to open up the vise all the way. You have to be very, very careful that you do not have your work below the vise. You just can't plane below the surface of the vise. Your work has to be what we call proud of the vise. It has to be up above that. And again, here you have to be very careful that as you're planing, that you're not hitting the vise. The vise is metal. If it hits the plane or the blade, it's going to nick it, and it'll dull the blade, and you're not going to get good results. So just keep those things in mind. You can't have this. So what I'm talking about is not having it down here. I've seen people hold their work down here and try to plane like that. Well, you can't. You're not going to get all the way to the edges, and you're also going to hit the blade on the vise. So you just got to keep that in mind. So hopefully this short video will help you remember those things. Make sure your bench dog and the vice dog are below the surface, and make sure if you're planing like this in the vise that your work is above the surface.